that I am not to be one of the recipients of this? Yes, I've been wronged. Dhulm has been done on me, but that doesn't mean that I cut off relationships with the individual. And unfortunately, we see sentiments of this within the community. This person doesn't wish to speak to me. Well, you're not in control of their actions. You make the initiative to go and speak with them. Even if it may be as little as Salamun Alaikum, that suffices. Depending on the relationship that exists between you, Salamun Alaikum is the minimum that one should engage in. Regardless of all the beef and the quarrels that have existed 15, 20 years, going 20 years back, erase all of that. Try and mend relationships. When you look at secular society, secular society today, Muslim psychologists and Muslim counselors are speaking out against all of these different ideas and ideologies. What are they saying? They're saying that if a person wants to empower themselves, the buzzword empowerment, if a person wants to empower themselves, if it means that they should isolate themselves from their families, so be it. If you think that you are empowered by moving away from your family, so be it. Engage in it. Empower yourself. The Quran comes in, steps in and says, this is wrong. This is batil. The moment a person cuts off relationships with their family members, with their womb relatives, there is no tawfiq left in that individual. He doesn't become a recipient of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. You will not be able to empower yourself. The Quran is very strong in these areas. It's just that we need to tap into the language of the Holy Quran and understand the philosophy that it provides for us to submit to. The tawfiq that was given to Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, we realize that he spent many a times remembering the movement of Abi Abdullah alayhi salam. They say tomorrow is now the first night of Muharram. They say that as soon as Muharram would start, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam would never be seen smiling or laughing for the 10 nights at least. He would wear black. It behooves that these 10 nights that are coming, we change. We cannot treat them as if they are ordinary days. I cannot behave within the month of Muharram the way I behave outside of the month of Muharram. Certain aspects have to be different. As soon as the 10 nights would enter, the Imam would hire, he would pay poets to come and recite lines of poetry, بِصَوْتَ الْحَزِينَ, and he would say to them, recite the musibah or the masayib of my grandfather in a sorrowful voice. Cry and make others cry. You find that, for example, Imam al-Rida, the same principle was established by Imam al-Rida. Da'bal al-Khuzai, the famous poet. That day he was invited by Imam alayhi salam. The Imam had fixed a podium for Da'bal al-Khuzai. A partition was created, men on one side, the women on the other. Then Da'bal begins to recite his famous lines, مُدَارِسُ آيَاتٍ خَلَتْ مِنْ تِلَاوَةٍ منزل وحي مكفر عرصات لآل رسول الله, and so on and so forth, until he begins to recite the musibah of Bibi Fatima Al-Zahra. Al-Zahra al-Batul alayha salam, she was there in spirit, ruhiyan, she was there in Karbala, witnessing everything that took place. From the children crying al-Atash, al-Atash, to the slaughter of the youths and the slaughter of the Imam himself. The looting of the camps, the imprisonment of the women, the parading of the heads on top of the spears and the women from one city to another. You find that Fatima al-Zahra was there witnessing everything that took place. Ruhiyya. Da'bal, he says, Afatimu law khilta al-Husayna mujaddila. If you had witnessed what had happened on the 10th of Muharram, لَلَطَمْتِ خَدَّ فَاتِمَ عِنْدَهُ, you would have struck your face, Ya Fatima. In anguish, in mourning, you would have struck yourself. Why? Because of how Abi Abdullah alayhi salam was slaughtered, thirsty alongside the Furat. And the tears would flow endlessly from your eyes down your cheeks, Ya Fatima. Stand and rise in mourning, Ya Fatima, for indeed the stars of the heavens have fallen on the sands of Karbala. Abu Hamza al-Thumali, likewise. You look at the history of any Imam, the mourning, the lamentation of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was very much embedded in their practice. With regards to Imam al-Sajjad, it was a political movement. It wasn't because he was emotional. Abu Hamza al-Thumali, he approaches the fourth Imam, and he sees the Imam lamenting and mourning. He says, Yabna Rasulullah, Karbala took place 3 decades ago. Why is it that you still mourn and cry as if it happened just a few days ago? The Imam alayhi salam responds, Shakar Allahu laka ya Aba Hamza. Abu Hamza al-Thumali again asks the question. He says, Yabna Rasulullah, al-qatlu lakum aada wa karamatkum min Allahi shahada. It's normal for your family members to be killed. It's a norm now. This is not something that is of the ordinary, out of the ordinary. Shahada is a blessing that has been given to you, the Al of Rasulullah. Why is it that you still cry this way? He says, hear what you've said to me, Ya Aba Hamza, it's true. Killing is a norm within our family, and Allah has blessed us with Shahada. But tell me, Ya Aba Hamza, tell me, when my women were taken as prisoners, was this considered a norm within my family? لما وقعت عيناي على عماتي وأخواتي إلا وذكرت فرارهن يوم عاشوراء. It says, Ya Aba Hamza, whenever I see my aunties and my sisters, all I can think of was what happened on the 10th of Muharram. إلا وذكرت فرارهن يوم عاشوراء, when the enemies they came towards us, and how my sisters and my aunts would move from one tent to another. من مكان إلى مكان, من خيمة إلى خيمة, how they would move from one tent to another, seeking refuge, seeking safety from the enemies. حتى ينادي المنادي احرقوا بيوت الظالمين, until one of the soldiers would come towards us crying out, burn the tents of the Zalimin. The Zalimin here meaning the Al of Rasulullah. When they began to burn the tents of Imam al-Hussein and the ladies of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, there was one tent that was burning. Hamid ibn Muslim witnesses a woman standing outside of the tent. He then tells her, oh woman, your abaya is on fire, move away from the tent. She extinguishes the fire, again she stands alongside the tent. The abaya catches fire again. Oh woman, move away from the tent is on fire. Upon which the woman turns around and says, oh, tell me, ya Shaykh, tell me, what should I do? There's a man who is within the tents. He is sick and I do not have the power to take him out of the tents. They moved Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam out of the tents. Bibi Zainab alayhi salam then tells her nephew, she says, Yabna Rasulullah, they're burning the tents. What should we do? Imam al-Sajjad, he looks at the aunt, he looks at Bibi Zainab, he says, Ya Zainab, gather the children, gather the women, and run towards the sons of Karbala. Escape the fires of Ibn Ziyad and Umar ibn Sa'ad. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. If we can recite Surah Al-Fatiha for the Marhuma.